Shalom. Kal Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, double honors to the elder bishops of Great Millstone as GMS. Peace and bless to the Akim and a few Akwath across the four winds. This is Bata Mayim coming to you with another lesson. Now I got this screenshot from Dabo 7. China just threatened America with any type of war and says it will fight to the end. We're living in a time of war. You know, most wars pretty much start off with tariffs. You know, there's back and forth with tariffs, and then it ultimately escalate. Well, ultimately it's going to escalate into World War III, which is a major prophecy. But you got so-called leaders in Israel who says that World War III is not prophesied in the Bible. Well, let me bring out a couple scriptures, and Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Hispanics. Revelation chapter 9, verse 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. So woe goes into death, destruction, mourning, sorrow. But here it's prophesied that it was World War I. It's past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. So World War II and World War III would have to come after this. Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So again, the second woe, which is World War I and World War II, are past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So World War III is approaching yet very fast. You know, it's back and forth tariffs, but you can see even before, a lot of these nations were showing off their ICBM thermonuclear missiles. You know, their ballistic missiles. Joel chapter 3, verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Now, when you go into the valley of Jehoshaphat, Jehoshaphat in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shaphat, which is Yahweh's place of judgment, which is the so-called Middle East. And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So when it goes into that, when you go into that word plead, it's Shaphat in the Hebrew, which means to judge. The Lord is going to place judgment on these heathen nations on the behalf of the nation of Israel. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is only for the nation of Israel, contrary to popular belief. The Lord is not coming back to save all nations. He's coming to save the elect of the nation of Israel in the midst of World War III. We're in the year 2025, which is the hopeful year of the deliverance of the nation of Israel. Again, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and Hispanics. And then we have Israelite foreigners that look like the other heathen nations. As we read here in Joel 3 and 2, they have scattered among the nations. We've been scattered due to the curses that you read in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15 on down to 68. But Joel chapter 3, verse 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So they're going to come up into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Get prepared for war. You know, it's going to be a lot of Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that's going to be thrown into that war on behalf of America. Joel chapter 3, verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So at first, the BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, you know, they started off as weak or small, you know, but hey, between China and Russia, they got pretty good technology, especially with their thermonuclear missiles. But you got a lot of other smaller nations like North Korea that are weak, but hey, they're strong because they're getting that technology. You know, they're amping up their thermonuclear missiles and ballistic missiles, so they're becoming stronger. I wanted to get that definition of tariffs because that's pretty much how a lot of wars are started. Tariff. And then this is the AI overview. A tariff is a tax on imported goods. Tariffs are a form of trade barrier that can increase prices and reduce the quantity of goods available. So a lot of prices have been increasing. America imports virtually everything. That's why Donald Trump is trying to bring a lot of factories, and he wants things to be made here. And then that way he can tax other nations too. So he can do more imports, just from on the business side. But none of this is going to work. How tariffs work. Tariffs are usually a percentage of the value of the imported goods. The companies that import the goods pay the tariff to the government. Companies may pass some or all of the tariff costs on the customer. And that's what's happening too. A lot of these customers are feeling the tariffs, these taxes that's been put on these other nations. Again, you can see it on your clothes, shoes, food, so on and so forth. Tariffs can vary based on the country of origin and the type of product. Then I just want to scroll down and get the Google definition. Tariff, a tax or duty to be paid on a particular class of imports or exports. And then that was in a noun form, but the verb is fix the price of something according to a tariff. So tax or a duty to be paid on a particular class of imports or exports. So this is going to lead up to a lot more skirmishes. But again, we're living in a time of war. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1. And the title says, a time for everything. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven, a time to be born, and a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. So right now we're in a time of weeping, not in a time of laughing. We're getting closer and closer to the Passover. It's a serious times. As you can see, we read in the book of Joel, prepare for war. It's a spiritual war, but ultimately it's going to be a physical war also. A time to mourn and a time to dance. We're not living in a time of feasting, being in that marrying and in marriage in the days of Noah. We don't want to be caught off guard. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart or to his mind. But it's better to go into the house of mourning, understanding the times that we're in, understanding that it's serious times, hoping that the Lord, protects us, especially, in during Jacob's trouble. The hour of temptation when that RFID microchip is pushed, the mark of the beast, the microcharagma. But back in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 8, this was the main point. A time to love and a time to hate. You got scoffers who will say, yeah, you're not supposed to hate. We're supposed to hate the evil and love the good. It's a time of love. Time to give our people warning to be prepared for war. Prophesying to say what's before that's going to happen. The prophesy means to say before. So we're telling you before it happens. We're telling you that World War III is going to break out. That the microcharagma is going to be made mandatory. And don't take the mark of the beast, which is that RFID microchip. Finishing off in Ecclesiastes 3 and 8, a time of war and a time of peace. We're not going to have peace until we enter into the kingdom of heaven. But right now is a time of war. Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So hearing about these little skirmishes and, China saying they're ready for any type of war with America, they be not troubled. Because we know that these prophecies have to come to pass. As you read in Isaiah chapter 55, the word of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, does not go out void. Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. As you can see here, you got Esau Edom, which is a self-proclaimed white man. You can see that Donald Trump is not white like his dress shirt. He's red. Then you have the Chinese, or we'll say the so-called Chinese, which is Moab, versus America. Then you're going to have, NATO branch off also from America. And America is going to get dragged into World War III by the small hats, which are the Israelis, those that are dwelling in our land. Back in Matthew 24 and 7, and there shall be famines, which is going to be a famine of the word, but also it's going to be a famine of food and water, and pestilences. Hey, the diseases are going to continue to increase, and earthquakes in diverse places. There's constantly earthquakes going off. Soon it's going to be even more earthquakes. Can't forget about volcano eruptions also. In Matthew 24 and 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Okay, so we are not to be troubled, because we know that our salvation draweth near to what we believe. But Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. Kal Halayim La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles. Double honors to the elder bishops of Great Millstone. That's GMS. Peace and blessings to the Akim and a few Akwa. Shalom.